Welcome to Life, Lessons, and Laughter with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. So this is kind of a different type of podcast outside my normal podcast. And I just want to take a little time and let everybody know some of the things that I do in my business of spiritual advising. So those of you that have been following me have heard bits and pieces of my story, how I was an alcoholic for 20 years, got married, had my son, got divorced. My son and my ex-wife moved from Florida up to Rhode Island. I ended up getting sober and moving up to Rhode Island to be a father for my son. And what ensued after that was a very difficult time of many years of family court, many appearances, trying to represent myself a lot of times because I didn't have money. Lots of difficulty that many people have gone through, and I experienced it and went through my own version of it. And it was difficult. It was, the most difficult thing I've ever been through. And when my son was 12, I ended up getting full custody. Well, no, excuse me. I got to use the right legal terms. Full placement and full decision-making capabilities. My son. They don't like taking custody away from people that have it, especially women, especially mothers, especially in Rhode Island, which is a notoriously difficult state for fathers. And, I was blessed enough to work through all that and end up in a better situation for my son and I. Of course, tons more went into it. Tons more. And my point is that I learned a ton going through this experience. I learned how to navigate my emotions. I learned how to navigate the difficulties. I learned how to be honest with myself about a lot of situations, because there were things that hurt me emotionally that when I really was honest with myself and dove into, I didn't really have a reason to be upset, which sounds kind of wild for those of you that are going through it, because it's so difficult. And if you're in a situation where you're getting attacked all the time and viciously, and it's difficult to keep your feet on the ground and say, okay, no, this one, I know it might be slanted against me a little bit, but I can't really get upset about that one. That's part of the process. That's part of the way the system is set up. And it just is. And that's the piece that I have to accept. Over here, this is unacceptable. This is where I need to stick my flag, and this is my hill to die on. We have to be able to, because you're not going to win every battle. So it's the capability of being honest with yourself and getting out of the victim mentality so we can think clearly and be able to set up healthy boundaries, hold them, navigate all the court issues. I'm not a legal expert, so I always tell whatever input I give to my clients to check with their lawyer. So you can, and plus laws vary from state to state and stuff like that. And I work with people all over the world. So, I don't give legal advice per se, but I do give input on, my personal input on my experiences and what worked and what didn't work, and why it worked. So I guess that is kind of what I wanted to share with you guys as far as some of the things that I offer for people that are going through this situation. It's one of the most difficult situations anybody ever goes through on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. If you love your children and really want to be in their life on a day-to-day basis, not, believe it or not, it's not for everybody, but if that is your goal, it's heart-wrenching to go through this. And it's very difficult. So really, to keep your feet on the ground and grow through it is, I think, one of the most important things, because we have to go through it. We're going to go through the difficulty. We're going to go to the court dates. We're going to get attacked. We're going to go through all this stuff. So if we have to go through it, we might as well grow through it and become a better version of ourselves through it. That's how self-work happens. Like, we can understand things intellectually, we can understand things conceptually, but until we stand in them physically, in physical situations, real life interactions, and behave in a way that is in alignment with love, truth, spiritual values, and stand in them, they don't become part of us. They don't become part of our vibration. We have to actually stand in physical situations and interact with them in healthy ways. And that's how we truly become healthier people. So the bigger, like I said, I think this is one of the most difficult situations people can go through. So what's, I gotta watch my wording here. What's cool about it, nothing's cool about it. But what's cool about it is that the more intense the situation, the more possibility there is for growth. The more profound your growth will be going through it. I mean, think about it. Like, if you can figure out how to navigate a parental rights situation where your heartstrings are being pulled on, and it's emotional and it's difficult, if you can learn to navigate that in a healthy, grounded way, what is going to knock you in the future? Probably nothing, because this is one of the most intense situations you're going to deal with. So if you can deal with this, you can deal with anything. And what I've seen working with my clients over the years, it's not just through my experience, but working with my clients, and I've worked with several, both men and women, going through these situations. It's, like I said, it's difficult to go through, but the principles that I teach about, setting boundaries and holding them, and not becoming spiteful along the way, not becoming what you hate. That's difficult in these situations when you feel that you're being attacked constantly, and then all of a sudden you have an opportunity to attack back. It's difficult to not do that, but we have to not do that, because then we're just becoming what we hate. Right. So this is a method of becoming a better person, and being able to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of every day, and at the end of every court battle, or at the end of every month, or end of every year, looking yourself in the mirror and liking who you are, loving who you are, knowing that you are taking the right steps for you and your child. It's amazing how much strength and courage you can derive from that when you're taking that approach. When you're getting knocked around and you can't even keep your feet on the ground and it's hard to think, I mean, how well are we going to do with that, right? But if, I teach these spiritual principles, and to interact, spiritual principles are eternal. So they apply to every situation, always, all the time. So as you're learning these spiritual principles and how to interact with them in a parental rights situation, which is extremely difficult, you're going to, like I said, that changes who you are. So you're going to become a more spiritual person. You're going to be more grounded. So my clients actually experience a tremendous amount of peace and contentment as they're going through the process compared to most people. Like, before people start working with me, it's a melee. It's difficult. You're all over the place. You don't know what to do. You feel like having these times of hopelessness, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been there, man. I've experienced all that, and it's extremely difficult. So if you can just have somebody to talk to and keep you grounded and keep reinforcing, no, this is the right thing. This is, this is how you can look yourself in the mirror. This is how you can interact with your child. It's difficult when your child is being told that you're bad all the time and you're a problem. And it's scary. Like, our child is going to actually start believing that, right? But I've been there, and I didn't know what to do either. But I had opened up spiritually, and I just was like, well, I'm just going to live by spiritual principles because it's worked in other areas of my life, and I don't know what else to do. And if I go back to my old way of being, this ain't going to end well. So I just did it because I didn't know what else to do. And I kept my fingers crossed that it was going to work out in the long run. Now my son's 24. And I'm telling you, it worked dramatically well. I didn't put down his mother, no matter how much I was put down. I didn't take the bait in most of the arguments. I didn't handle everything perfectly, and I'm guessing that you probably won't either. But we don't have to handle it perfectly. We have to handle it well, and that's good enough. And our best is good enough. So I've been through this process. I've helped other people through this process. And like I said, not only is it a tremendously important situation to get help with, don't try to navigate it yourself. This is hard stuff. So not only is it important because of your children, but it's also important because of you. And, I truly believe that one of the biggest gifts, if not the biggest gift we can give our children, is for them to see us navigate difficulty. Not that we expose them to everything that we're going through, but we allow them to see some of it. I mean, they know more than we think they do, I think. Anyway, right? They're aware that there's tension. They can feel the tension, stuff like that. So the biggest gift we can give them is showing them how to navigate difficulty and stressful situations and be the better person. Be the person that we want to be, and be the person that we want them to be. Come out a better version of ourselves. Go through the difficulty and come out a happier, healthier version of ourselves. If we can show our children that by our own actions, that's such a gift, because they are going to go through their difficulties in life. Everybody does. So when they go through their difficulties, if they see this situation break you and turn you into a bitter person and down to your knees and functioning at 50% of what you're capable of and all this stuff, like they're going to be scared when they go in to their difficulty, because they're going to see what it did to you. So it's not just for us that we do this work, that I think it's so important. It's also for our children, so that we can model for them what it looks like to go through difficulty, not perfectly, but well, and to come out a happier, healthier version of ourselves. Then when a difficulty arises, they might go, okay, this is going to be hard. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know it's possible to come out happier and healthier because I've seen it. You know, our kids, I always say, our kids might listen to half of what we say, maybe 3/4 of what we say when they're little, but they pay attention to 100% of what we do. So, you know, how we handle things is so important. And again, it's not that we're going to do it perfectly, but with some guidance, I really believe that I can help people navigate this situation, one of the most difficult situations that you're going to navigate in your life. I'm confident that I can help you through that and get through it better than trying to navigate it alone. You know, teaching you these spiritual principles, how to stand in them, how they work. And yeah, there's going to be some leaps of faith that you're going to have to try. And then once you see they work, you're going to be like, oh, okay. But really, what do you have to lose? You know? So yeah, this is kind of a out of the ordinary video or audio, if that's where you're listening to it. I just want to let everybody know that this is a service that I provide. And not only did I learn a lot through my personal experiences, but I also learned a lot helping other people. You know, that's really where the confidence level goes up. When you're teaching this stuff to other people and they navigate their situations, you know, 100 times better than they would have on the path they were on before. And this is the things that you know, my clients have told me. And they get feedback from other people. Like a lot of times their coworkers, their friends, their family members are looking at them in amazement, because they're like, how are you dealing with this without falling apart, without losing your mind? Like, this is intense. This is extremely difficult. And you seem like fine. Are you okay? Are you flipping out on the inside? Like, are you going to go do something really stupid? Because you seem way too calm to be going through what you're going through. This is the type of feedback that my clients get from their loved ones. You know, and I don't mean to imply that it's easy. It's not easy. But you can stay grounded through it. You can grow through it. You can come out happier and healthier through it in all areas of your life. You know, if you're happy, healthy, grounded, you are, period. Now, if you learn to be happy, healthy, and grounded when you're going through a really good time in your life, anybody can do that, right? How much did you really grow? Or maybe a small difficulty. How much did you really grow? Probably not that much. But if you grow through an extreme, intense situation like this is, that pulls on every heartstring that you have, if you grow through that, man, the benefits you're going to experience are going to last a lifetime. You know? So, yeah, that's my overview. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of my mentality and what's possible navigating this particular situation. So if there's anything I can do for you, if you're interested in finding out more, talking to me, just email me at glenn@glennambrose.com. Of course, you can listen to some of my other podcasts. I don't have a particular podcast specifically on this topic. I think it's a very personal topic. Whether I'll do one, I don't know. But I have them on lots of other topics, so you can get an idea of the way that I think or how I address other issues possibly. But yeah, just shoot me a message if you'd like to find out more, and we'll figure out the best way to see if it's a good fit, because I'm completely interested in making sure it's a good fit. If, my way isn't the right way for everybody. It's based in spiritual principles, spiritual truths, what I like to call spiritual law. So they work in every situation all the time, always, period. Now, if it's a more extreme situation, they're often more difficult to implement because it's extreme than something simple. But it doesn't change the dynamics. The dynamics are the same, whether it's simple or whether it's difficult. Whether it's small or whether it's large, the dynamics are the same. So it's about teaching these basic dynamics of how to interact with things. And I'll end with this. Boundaries are often an important part. So if you're good at setting boundaries and holding them, then every time, other than my personal situation, I have seen the other side change for the better. After a while of holding boundaries, people generally, this situation usually enhances. So I'll leave it at that. All right. Hopefully that gives you a little insight into who I am and what I do around this particular topic. And if I can help you, or you think I might be able to, just reach out and start the conversation, and we'll just see if it's a good fit from there. All right. Best wishes, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon. Peace.